In as much as we don't know what the consequences are for Sizwe Zungu, I think it is safe to say that even though these are still allegations, guys, these are still allegations, but one can draw the conclusion that Sizwe Zungu fabricated this case. Therefore, Gininda, Baloy, and everybody that is involved in the Senzo Meyiwa murder, they fabricated this entire trial. We have to give flowers where flowers are due. Remember Mr. Mgomezulu. Mr. Mgomezulu was very, very adamant about how this case was actually cooked. I mean, we believed him. I mean, we were watching this. We were witnessing right before our eyes, police lying, magistrates lying. Everybody seems to be lying because there wasn't something tangible one can hold on to and say, yeah, I think maybe the 5 people that are accused of unaliving Senzo Meyiwa are the right people. I mean, as I've said it before, it was quite clear what the strategy was. The strategy, we catch one of the most dangerous and feared Inkabi, put him in this matter. This is accused number 5. And then maybe mix it up a little bit with another second in command feared Inkabi being accused number 4. And then the most recent, who's known to be trigger happy when it comes to taxi violence, and also the weapon is still in the SAP-13 store and about to be destroyed, but let's take it out of the SAP-13 store and it being lined for destruction, because we are going to use that firearm and then we are going to place it in the hands of accused number 3, as well as now you have to also come with 2 fresh young Inkabi. Maybe these young men are hanging out with these big Inkabis, probably getting mentored. And in order for the story to stick, we need to have a family member who's living with the guilt of the death of Senzo Meyiwa, and he cannot handle it anymore. And then comes a general of the police in Gauteng, visits a police station in Tembisa. Probably they already knew that the general was going to visit Tembisa and was already given instructions and how you are going to go to the general and say, I know who killed Senzo Meyiwa. And then, of course, the general, who's about to also retire, thinking to himself, hey, I could actually retire with a bang, and says, okay, come to my office so we can talk about this. Everything that transpired in Tembisa between Sizwe Zungu as well as General Shaban were twisted around to create a narrative. And today, when Advocate Ngumalo was asking him, based on the initial meeting between himself and Sizwe Zungu, the general, you could almost tell that his jaw was on the floor. Like, what do you mean? I'm not the one who approached him, because that's what he says, and that's what he told the court, that he was approached and therefore was taken to General Shaban's office. He says he is lying under oath. He even went as far as saying that Sizwe Zungu was cooking the case. He used the word cooking the case, because everything. Now, what Mr. Ngumalo did was to take General Shaban through Sizwe Zungu's testimony, like how it all started, what transpired between them, which led to now the arrest of Muzisibiya, and subsequently Muzisibiya getting arrested for being caught with white powder. And then he says all of it is a lie. The father was never spoken about. His name didn't feature in this conversation between himself and Sizwe Zungu. And none of these things were ever true, is what he's saying. None of it. And you could tell as well when Sizwe Zungu was on the stand that this guy, I mean, at first we didn't understand him. Yeah, but it was crazy. So it's quite clear that Sizwe Zungu would have told General the witness, about everything that he had stated in his testimony when he took the stand in 2023. I mean, everything. The handwriting, the writing of statements, going to KwaZulu Natal, and then he would have told General Shaban about Mr. Zungu on the day of the murder, that on the 26th of October, as he worked at Tembisa police station, he got a phone call from Kwabeni to say, hey, let's hang out. He said, well, I gotta go to work. After work, then I will come to you. And that's all that story we know. And he had to first pass through Carlton Center to pick up Umakosonke before headed to Fosloras. When they got to Fosloras, there was some kind of a celebration, but before I think they even went to Tops or something like that, and bought some few things, and then they returned. And then when it got to about some time in the night, at the hostel, fine, what is his name, Kani, all of these guys, they went out, and then they left him behind, and few probably minutes later, they came running, huffing and puffing. They went into Kwabeni's room, the lights went out, and then he followed and saw that they had guns, and they had just finished something. They celebrated by drinking a bottle of Jameson or something like that. Shaban was like, I don't know all of these things. All of these things were never told to me when I met with Sizwe Zungu. Now, the question you have to ask is then, what was the whole point of involving the general? Did they do this because they needed somebody high up there to legitimize the cooking of this case? Because all of this is happening in 2020, why in the 2020s, 2019 into 2020, where all of this is happening. Shaban is like, all of that he did not share those stuff with me. So Advocate Ngumalo wanted to know more about the resources of the state, starting with the vehicle. The vehicle, of course, is private. We now learned that it doesn't have an AVL. I don't think going forward from this point at the Matlang Commission and the Senzo Meyiwa, and also more cases to come, where a vehicle of the police does not have AVL, it should be a crime. It should be considered a crime, in my opinion. So, turns out that police officers in uniform, whether you're doing visible policing like Sizwe Zungu has been doing, or you are a detective, you can use marked cars, and you can also use unmarked cars, depending on the availability of marked cars. So we know that Sizwe Zungu had an unmarked car of the SAPS when he went to Fosloras on the 26th of October 2014. Secondly, where also, if I remember correctly, and I said this is an unfair trial, was when two questions, very fundamental questions that were asked of Sizwe Zungu during cross-examination was, you're a police officer. Why are you hanging out with criminals or purported to be even murderers? Oh, guess who jumped and said you do not incriminate yourself? Judge Rata. Judge Rata protected Sizwe Zungu from implicating himself, but it was not going to be an implication. Maybe it was going to be an implication, but Judge Rata was about, This is where I felt like it should have been Sizwe Zungu's option, whether to share why he was hanging out with criminals, because I was interested to hear. You are hanging out with known criminals. Two, these criminals have unlicensed firearm. As a police officer, you are a police officer off duty and off duty, especially when there's a commission of crime. Because now you're off the clock, shouldn't you have called back up and said, listen, I am in this hostel, this room number, And the people that I'm hanging out with, they are having in their possession suspected firearms. We don't know what these firearms have done before, but they came back, leaving me drinking with myself, and they're huffing and puffing. And please come check. He did not do that, but Judge Rata said, don't incriminate yourself on these two things: unfirearm licenses or suspected unlicensed firearms, as well as hanging out with criminals. The third thing also that he was told not to incriminate himself about is that he handed his firearm to a civilian. We found out in court today from General Shaban that is a crime for a police officer to hand over their service pistol to a civilian. And Sizwe Zungu admitted that he had given his firearm to Gwabini for safekeeping. So he has committed a crime type of situation. Same goes with vehicle. The vehicle he is given by the state, or at least he has to ask for it, that, hey, I need the an extra vehicle if I'm also going to do extra work once I'm off the clock. For personal use, it is not allowed, but he used this unmarked vehicle for his personal stuff on the 26th of October 2014, where Senzo Meyiwa was unalived. Once again, General Shaban was like, this man is a liar. He's a liar. So you guys already know what is Sizwe. Why am I mixing so many things are happening in South Africa, guys, and I'm realizing my brain, it needs to start compartmentalizing. You know, like Senzo Meyiwa, it has its own file. The Madlang Commission of Inquiry must have its own file. Right now, the brain's supposed to do that. But for some reason, it's mixing things. And I apologize, guys. I truly apologize. But on a serious note, everything that Sizwe Zungu had said on the stand was rebutted and refuted by General Shaban, because these are the things that he ought to have told General Shaban, because they are important details if he was serious about getting the perpetrators that committed this heinous crime against Senzo Meyiwa and his family. I'm trying to pull something here in case you're wondering. So but I am still saying that Mthokozisi and Tumelo, they better start coming out of the hole they are hiding in, psychologically, emotionally, intellectually, and also not to play with their liberty. Get up and come start telling the truth. I don't know who you tell the truth. Either you set up a video. I think it would be nice if you set up a video and just tell the country the truth. Y'all are there, or we're there. And I'm saying that the heaviest judgment will come on these two people, Mthokozisi and Tumelo. And the reason why people will judge them harshly is because these two people were best friends of Senzo Meyiwa. I mean, I know that you must not always trust your friends. I don't have, by choice, and the peace of mind that I get to live is immeasurable. You can't measure the amount of peace of mind, peace of everything that I have, because I do not have to be considerate, and I don't have to, that type of thing, the whole thing of friendship. But here we are. These people were friends of Senzo Meyiwa. And one of them, I think it was Tumelo, even had more than a friendship with Senzo Meyiwa, a brotherly relationship. So people will be more harsher on them than they are going to with Okeli Khumalo, because to me, as far as I have observed in this case, the mother did a bad job. Mommy Dearest did a bad job in raising Okeli. No mother should ever accept their daughter coming home with a married man, even if they cheated and had a child. That is unacceptable. As a matter of fact, it's evil on the part of the because there's a wife involved. So why are you cheering your daughter in hurting another woman? Sonje, and then you had the other one as well. Mdrembe. So you can tell the upbringing was horrible. There was none. That's my opinion. That's my observation that formed this opinion. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are regarding what transpired today. So the court has adjourned once again quite early, almost like 35 minutes early, because Advocate Ngumalo wrapped up his cross-examination of General Shaban. And Advocate Mshololo seems like she has questions herself, and she would like to start her cross-examination of the witness tomorrow, the 21st of May, 2026. It's going to be lit because I'm interested to hear what is Advocate Mshololo's ace up the sleeve with General Lishabane. I think I would have left everything to what Mr. Ramusipili had done. Ramusipili covered, I think, everything. I also liked what Advocate Ngumalo did as well. You know how Mr. Ngumalo does, right? He analyzes statements, he tears them apart, and now he tore apart the record of Sizwe Zungu's appearance. He shredded it. So much so that when you look at Advocate Baloy, whenever the camera, panned onto him, he's not happy. He's not happy at all, y'all. He's just not happy. Anyways, we'll hear tomorrow what Advocate Mshololo has for us. As for me, I am still anybody that knows Tumelo and Mtogo. Tell them the walls are closing, the truth is coming out, and the last thing that they will want is get buried under the truth. The truth comes very painfully, by the way, with consequences too. Other than that, guys, please let me know what are your thoughts. And I find myself revitalized watching the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial once again. That means I'm now doing a little bit better when it comes to my mental health. I saw a lot of you guys asking, why did you stop? I know there's some speculations as well that were doing the rounds. No, I was never in danger. No one threatened me. No one said. It's just my mental health could not handle Judge Rada in particular. I just couldn't anymore. So no, I was never intimidated. Even if I was, I would have said to them, good luck. That's all I would have said to them. But other than that, guys, I will see you next time with a new video. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support. I highly appreciate you guys all the time. Now I have to battle with my Wi-Fi to upload this video because lately my Wi-Fi has been on strike. I don't know why. And yet I pay every month. Goodbye, guys.